I wanted someone online to find me. Eventually, someone was going to see me in the news feed, and they would see that I kept writing Baby Feld, which is his last name, and they were going to put two and two together, or it would raise some suspicion and question. I got a lot of the requests were either they didn't get to them, or people just accepted them. So I knew, like, slowly but surely, people are going to notice, because who else's last name is that? Quite a few of the people that I requested started watching my stories, started actually commenting on my stories, and little did they know that I am actually the ex-girlfriend of someone that they're related to. The only reason they would have to believe that I had any relationship with Asmodeus was if I had actually ever met them and they acknowledged that I even existed. I never met any of his friends or family because, one, he told me he had no friends. He said since he relocated to New Jersey 3 years ago, he had no friends, and friendships were hard to make, which is understandable as an adult. And he also told me that his relationship with his mother and his sister was estranged. He never went into details as to why he and his mother weren't close, but he specifically told me that they were not close at all, that they had a really bad relationship. The things he said about his sister were questionable. Now, wherever you guys stand on gender, that's between you, yourself, and you. I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. He had quite a few episodes where he would be talking about his nephew who was transitioning, and he would just be dogging his sister. And like at first I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. It's crazy. And he said that they live in Camden. And then the next time he brought his nephew up and his sister in conversation, the man was going in like he was getting paid to do it. He was saying so much about himself in the form of talking about other people. And I'm just like, are you aware? Are you aware at all that you sound a very particular type of way? Are you gathering that? Do you hear yourself sometimes? Because it sounds very hate-filled. It doesn't sound like you're being a realist. It just sounds very hate-filled. And that was always super weird to me. My sister had said to me once, she was like, why don't you hire a private investigator? Because everybody was floored by the man blocking me and ghosting me. Like, everybody was just like, what? So she said, why don't you hire a private investigator? And I was like, I'm not wasting my money on a private investigator. We're not even together. All I care about is your tax ID number at this point. I don't need to find what you're doing and what you've been up to. I don't care anymore. My emotions had completely shifted from Asmodeus being my focus to my children just being solely my focus, my mental health, my well-being. I was not going to spend my money on a private investigator to find out that he's an asshole. Like, he's clearly been lying about something. And I was like, I'm not going to do that because it's a waste of my money. I don't care enough. And I think my tactic is going to work just fine. Someone is going to find me before I have to worry about really finding them. Because I put everything on the internet. It's the World Wide Web. Everybody likes to dig in people's business. So it's only a matter of time before someone does find me and figure some things out. Plus, I had put up a few TikToks where I did include my ex's photo. And I did include some video of him. And it was strategically done on purpose. It was. Because at this point, I'm really thinking like, this man has a wife somewhere. My Google search looked highly suspicious. Because I'm just like, I had episodes, I had a few moments from time to time where I would just start thinking like, it's really not that far-fetched. That man might actually have been married all this time. As smart, if you will, believe that Asmodeus was, he wasn't that smart. Women are smarter. We do some very questionable things, but that does not mean that we don't know how to find out some things too. Intuition is everything. Just based on the way he moved, I was just like, yeah, that nigga up to some shit. He has to be. Who responds like that unless you have something else going on? A few months went by. It was the month of July. So now I'm approaching the end of my second trimester, and we're in July. I'm noticing on Facebook I'm getting more and more friends that are all related to my ex's mom. And I was not particularly like anal about who I picked to request. I requested anyone and everyone with the same last name. And then after they accepted my friendship, I went on further to just start requesting anybody that had mutual relationships on Facebook. But I wasn't putting a lot of thought into it. I just kind of wanted to have like the biggest village of people from that side of the family witnessing and seeing me online and knowing that I was pregnant, because I knew that it would force someone to confront him, and it would force him to confront me. Because at that point, all I wanted him to do was go get some damn lab work done for the baby. That's all I wanted. That was my only reason for reaching out. It really was. So I was at work. It was a Sunday. I was at work. I was working overnight, 7 p to 7 a. And I get a message on Facebook. And I open it up, and it's from a woman. And there was no text, but it said ... And I'm like, this is probably like, I don't know, like the end of a thread of some chain message. So I responded, hey, what's up? And I saw that they had saw me respond, but they never said anything else. So I do what anybody would do. I go to the account, I view the profile. I don't recognize anything in particular that like raised my eyebrows, but I did notice that this woman, I saw her birthday, and I also saw that she worked in education. And as Modius told me, along with telling me why he and his daughter's mother broke up, he told me that she was a teacher, or is a teacher. Again, their relationship ended as a result of her son, passing away unexpectedly at a very young age. He said that they had been apart for 8 years, and that he had full custody of their daughter together. So I did see that she was a teacher, but it didn't still no alarms were going off. So I did see that her Facebook was linked to her Instagram. So I go to her Instagram, and I'm just going through all the photos, going through the pictures, and I see Asmodeus' daughter. How do I know what Asmodeus' daughter looks like? Because he sent me pictures of his daughter. And one thing that I did pick up on at that moment was that he sent me pictures that he also posted online. But he sent them directly to me through my phone. But these ones were already online. So remember that one thing. So I'm scrolling, and then I see a picture of Asmodeus and his daughter together. So now I'm reading the captions of everything, because I'm just like, a lot of these images say 1,000 words, but they're not saying too much in the caption. That Instagram account belonged to the mother of his youngest daughter. So the baby mom messaged me on Facebook. And now I'm curious as to why.